Dr. Whooves, A Little Bit Country, Part 3. Exterior, the orchard between the main barn and the south barn. Night. The doctor is trailing Applejack as they run towards the southern barn.
Wait for me! I can't keep up with you! Blast these pony legs. Haven't quite figured out how this whole galloping thing works.
No time to waste, Doctor. Giddy up now.
But we don't know what's out there. It could be anything, and it's probably dangerous. We need to take precautions.
Yeah, dangerous. And Applebloom is right in the middle of it. Sorry, Doctor, can't slow down.
Oh, why does nobody ever listen? No choice then. Allons-y!
The doctor does his best to keep up with Applejack and just barely manages to keep her from drifting out of sight. Exterior, outside the southern barn. The doctor begins scanning and Applejack runs around the barn calling for her sister. Applebloom? Applebloom? Can you hear me? If you hear me, say something. Anything at all. The doctor aims a screwdriver at the partially open barn door. He approaches it slowly and cautiously. Applebloom, this isn't funny. Just say something, dagburn it. Say you got in trouble at school. Say you hate apples. Say you hate me for grounding you. Just please, don't be hurt.
Something definitely happened here. Something time-related. There's an extraordinary amount of temporal distortion.
That little doohickey really tells you that much?
Yes, it can. This device is brilliant. Wait, aren't you going to ask me what temporal distortion is?
It means something in this area has caused time and space to go all horse feathers. School, remember?
What? Theories on time and space aren't part of normal schooling. At least I think it isn't. Well, I suppose I have been out of the education system for some time. But still, you would have had to have gone out of your way to...
We can talk about this later, Doctor. I'm going to look inside the barn. Maybe she fell and hurt herself.
No, don't go inside that barn!
Applejack pushes the door open and walks inside the barn.
Never fails! I'm just going to start telling people to jump off cliffs and leap into temporal distortions from now on. Maybe then someone will show a little bit of caution.
The doctor follows Applejack into the barn. Interior, southern barn, night. The doctor peers slowly into the barn with his screwdriver in his mouth activated. The moonlight is just enough to see most of the interior of the barn. Applejack is standing alone in the center of the room looking down.
I'll have to keep the bloody thing in my mouth just to be able to walk and scan. Somewhat limited pony dexterity is. Just as I thought. The source of the distortion is in this room. Right next to where you're standing, I'd say. You're most fortunate, you know. Normally running into a temporal distortion would suck you into it or even delete you from existence. But this one, well, I've never seen anything like it before. It's stable. Distortions are never stable. They're created by massive amounts of time energy expanding and collapsing. But this one isn't putting up a fuss. It's not damaging anything around it. And it's not causing a catastrophic paradox either. If I didn't know better, I'd say that this was deliberately engineered this way. But that's impossible. Applejack? Why aren't you saying anything at all? And why aren't you moving a muscle?
She's gone, Doctor. She's gone.
Don't say that. She could be anywhere around here. She could have run back to the other barn.
We would have seen her.
Maybe she went a different way.
Wouldn't make any sense. She'd have to run 3 times as far to get back to the house if she took a different way.
Maybe she was scared and ran off any which way.
No, Doctor. Look where I'm standing.
There's a hat.
Not just any hat. My hat. My favorite hat. I love this hat. I've had it since I was little enough to crawl inside it. I'd cut off both my manes before I'd give up this hat. Applebloom knows I love this hat. No matter how clumsy or forgetful she is, and no matter how much something could startle her, she wouldn't just leave my hat laying here.
Well, considering that, what's your analysis, Applejack?
She was taken. She had just finished putting the rope back on the wall, and when she was walking back to the door, some pony took her by force.
Good analysis, except it probably wasn't a pony that took her.
She's my sister, Doctor. My only little sister. I'm supposed to protect her, and look what's happened. Some pony or some alien or what have you's come and taken her. Some big sister I am. I let her go off alone in the dark. Twice. It's my fault. It's all my fault.
Don't be ridiculous. It's not your fault.
Applejack suddenly accosts the Doctor. Y'all said temporal distortion thingies can delete you from existence. What if it's you? What if your spacebox coming and going caused this distortion and deleted my baby sister? Oh, now that it's not your fault, it's got to be my fault. What next? Is it the Barn's fault? Is it the rope's fault? The TARDIS doesn't cause whips in time and space. It can complicate them, but that's another long story. I've never seen a temporal distortion like this and couldn't make one on purpose, or an accident for that matter. I'm sorry, Doctor. I'm just so worried about her. I know. Keep yourself together. We need to get back to the TARDIS. Well, how will that help? We don't know where they've taken her. No, but we can find out. I believe that this bizarre and stable distortion is used as a portal through time and space, and at the other end are the mysterious captors. And Applebloom. Right, but it won't stay stable for long. Come on, it's time to run again. You know, I said I wasn't going to travel with you. What? When did you say that? Earlier, when I was pouring my heart out and you said you heard every word. Guess it wasn't that important after all. Well, you're welcome to stay here. Not a chance. I'm stuck with you until Applebloom is safe. Atta girl. Now let's be off. Allons-y. Yeah! Oh, yours is cooler. Applejack picks up her hat and puts it on. The two ponies run out of the barn. Interior. The TARDIS control room. Night. The Doctor is fooling around with the controls. Applejack is marveling at the surroundings. Welcome to the TARDIS, short for Time and Relative Dimension in Space. What do you think? Brilliant, eh? It's bigger on the inside. I know, marvelous. Do you want to know how it works? The inside is like another dimension relative to time and space. Okay, how do you keep doing that? Doing what? That! You know how the TARDIS works. Well, y'all said it. Time and relative dimension in space. I just took it literally. But how do you understand everything I say? I'm not stupid, Doctor. I never thought you were. It's just, I don't know how to put this delicately. You're a lot smarter than I thought you'd be. You're right. You didn't know how to put it delicately. Locking onto the temporal distortion, the Doctor flips switches and turns knobs. There, we should go right to whatever's on the other side of the distortion. So, what did you do while I was gone exactly? Did you get a PhD in theoretical physics or something? Nothing fancy like that. In fact, after you left, I struggled in school for a while. I tried to get good at science and math and astronomy for when you came back, but I couldn't understand a dang word in those books. I had to stop and look everything up in the dictionary. So I just started reading the dictionary instead. For hours a day, I just learned new words all the time. After a while, it made it easier to read the other stuff and all my school books and whatnot. The more words I knew, the more things made sense. I pretty much know every word there is to know now. But they're just words. Learning is about concepts and theories. Well, it's more than that, Doctor. Every time you say something I don't understand, I just break down the meaning of each word you say and figure out what they can mean together. I see. So you dissect spoken sentences down to the base words with no context and then conceptualize the meaning by deriving the context out of the individual definitions. Yeah, that. Well, why did you just say that? I like the way I said it better. You have an immense and rich knowledge of language and syntax, yet you choose to speak so simple. Of course. Who needs fancy words when you can just say what you mean and have every pony understand you just fine? So, you know every word, yet you're a pony of few words. You should meet my brother. The TARDIS shakes. Hold on, we're passing through the temporal distortion! Land sakes! Another violent shake flings Applejack into the Doctor. They collapse onto the floor on top of each other. Sorry, Doctor. Never mind that, just hold on! They hold on to each other as the TARDIS enters the portal. Unlike the time vortex that the Doctor usually travels through, they arrive almost instantaneously as a bright light flashes. It takes a few seconds for the Doctor's eyes to recover from the flash. He rubs his eyes and opens them to see that he is in human form again. He looks over to see that Applejack has turned human as well, and both of them are completely naked except Applejack's hat. Oh no, this is bad. This is very bad. The Doctor jumps up and away from Applejack. He runs out of the control room and into the corridors of the TARDIS. Applejack looks up from the floor confused. She holds out her hands to examine them. What in tarnation's going on? What happened to me? What am I? My cutie mark's gone. I'm not even a pony anymore. Doctor, where'd you go? Help me! The doctor returns to the control room in a suit and a bow tie. He has one hand covering his face and the other is holding a blanket.
I'm not looking. Here, wrap yourself in this and go put some clothes on.
The doctor tosses the blanket to Applejack, but she just lets it fall beside her. Clothes? What are y'all talking about? Looks like you changed too. What are we, doctor? What is this?
Are you in the blanket?
No, what do I need a blanket for?
Just wrap yourself in it so I can open my eyes.
Well, who's stopping y'all?
Just do it, please.
Fine. Applejack struggles with her unfamiliar fingers for a few seconds as she handles the blanket. What in the hay is up with these weird cloth thingies on my hooves?
Is the blanket on yet?
Hold your horses and give me a second. Okay, it's on. Happy? The doctor removes his hand and opens his eyes.
Much better. Now hurry and go get some clothes from the wardrobe.
What for? It's not even cold. And I don't like dressing up all fancy schmancy in clothes. I'm not Rarity.
What's a Rarity?
She's a pony, I know.
Look, the form you are currently in is called human. It's the one I was describing earlier. You are now a bipedal creature, and those claw thingies you have are called hands, not hooves.
They seem so clumsy.
You'll get used to them. Anyway, humans, as you can see, are virtually hairless compared to ponies, and when they are not wearing clothes, they are considered naked. It's a word. You should look it up.
I know what naked means. Exposed, revealed, undressed, stripped bare. But what does that have to do with me?
Because you just... Can't you feel? You're just naked. I can't explain it. You have to experience it. I'm going to regret this. Stand up.
Applejack looks at her legs. How do I do that?
Here, take my hand.
Applejack reaches out and grabs the doctor's hand with her own. She holds the blanket on with the other.
Now get on one knee and push yourself up with the other.
Applejack complies and uses the doctor's grip to support herself as she stands. I feel so flimsy on two legs. Pinkie Pie does it all the time. I wish I was more experienced like her.
Why do I feel like all of my previous companions are reaching through time and space to smack me for what I'm about to say?
What do you mean?
Applejack, drop the blanket and face me.
Okay, but I thought I needed the blanket.
You also need to understand what naked really is.
Applejack drops the blanket and looks at the doctor. I still don't get it, doctor. Why do humans feel they have to go and cover up all the time? What's so embarrassing? Applejack looks down at her new form and examines herself.
5, 4, 3.
I do feel kind of weird.
2.
Maybe it is a little cold in here.
1.
Applejack's eyes go wide as she tries to cover herself with her hands. Sweet Celestia, I'm
naked. I'm naked. Don't look at me.
Oh, now you're modest. The doctor covers his eyes again. Applejack picks the blanket up and wraps herself again.
Clothes! Clothes! I need clothes! Down the corridor, third door on the right, go past the pool, take your second left, can't miss it.
Thanks, doctor. I'll be right back.
Well, that could have gone worse.
Oh, and doctor?
Yes, what is it? Do you need the directions again? It's down the...
Applejack slaps the doctor and then runs down the corridor.
Ah, yes, of course. I think I actually deserve that one. And I even know why. And it happened in the right order. That's new.